Fiore's 12 golds of the sword in two hands can be put into three categories: Stabile, Instabile, or Pulsativa. Understanding what these terms mean and how they impact the tactical options available to you while in the wide game is, in my opinion, a critical aspect of understanding Fiore's approach to the fight. Now, there are a ton of different interpretations of these terms, and I disagree with them for a few different reasons I'll go into towards the end of the video. I also want to make a case regarding Posta Breve falling into a dual category of Instabile and Stabile. Let's begin with Pulsativa, which is by far the term most people can agree upon as meaning powerful. We have three golds: Tuta Posta di Ferro, Posta di Donna la Destra, and Posta di Donna la Sinistra. Now, if we read the accompanying text to these posta, we can see that they all have three things in common. They can defend against all 7 strikes, they make powerful strikes that break other golds, and they can make a cover to enter the close game. So these positions are good for attacking and defending. Offensively, they strike with significant force to take the central line and crumple your opponent's parry, and if your opponent attacks first, there are good positions from which to make a cover. These are primarily offensive positions, which specialize in breaking the opponent's gold, but are also a great defense. Stabile posta are often interpreted as stable, but I like to think of them as strong. We have 4 stabile posta: Posta di Mezana, Posta Breve, Dente di Zenghiaro, and Posta di Coda Longa. All of these golds are forward-weighted and make no mention to making a cover against an incoming strike. These golds defend against an incoming strike by beating the opponent's sword away, breaking or exchanging the thrust, or launching a thrust of their own. These are also strong positions for intentionally entering into the close game, or defending against someone attempting to enter the close game against you. If you want to intentionally enter into the close game, you want Posta di Coda Longa. Because the sword is so much farther away from your opponent, when you throw a descending cut from this posta, your opponent is going to see it coming and move to parry. This ensures that you get a strong crossing of the swords, which has now placed you into the close game. The other 3 stabile posta defend against this exact thing by being able to launch powerful thrusts while keeping the hands low. Dente di Zenghiaro specifically mentions this as a defense against someone attempting to enter into the close game against you. And Posta Breve and Posta di Mezana can execute the same or similar thrust. So you can imagine that the same mandritto fendente from Posta di Coda Longa against someone in Dente di Zenghiaro, instead of moving to parry the strike, they can launch a thrust into the face. Instabile posta I like to interpret as fluid or changing instead of unstable. We have 5 instabile posta: Posta Longa, Posta di Bicorno, Posta di Fenestra, Posta di Corona, and Dente di Zenghiaro Mezana. Looking at the text, we can see that unlike the Stabile posta, there is no reference to using these golds as a means to enter into the close game. These golds are instead used in the wide game. Furthermore, we see 3 of these golds, Longa, Bicorno, and Fenestra, stated as relying upon deception and quickly transitioning into other golds, either to confuse your opponent or to prompt a predictable attack. So you do not sit still in these golds. You quickly transition from one to another depending upon the tactical situation. For example, you may start in Dente di Zenghiaro Mezana. You're presenting your head as a target so that you can encourage a predictable attack, but you are also back-weighted so that you have some defendable space. If the attack should come, you beat the incoming strike away and counterattack to the hands or arms. Let's say your opponent doesn't take the bait. Well, quickly transition into Fenestra. Do it quickly and attempt to confuse your opponent into cutting at you. Again, if they take the bait, they are essentially cutting into a hanging parry and you can counterattack accordingly. If they do not take the bait, launch a thrust from Fenestra. If it lands, great. If not, oh well, you're in Longa. You present your sword as a target and you give threat with the point. If your opponent tries to beat your sword away, you don't enter the bind, you avoid the strike entirely and counterattack. Again, if your opponent doesn't take the bait, you can still thrust, cut, or pull into another Instabile Posta. Perhaps your opponent doesn't cut at your sword at all and instead launches a thrust. You move into Posta di Corona, which is described as defending against the thrust. The common theme with all of this is that you keep moving, staying in the wide game, probing your opponent for weaknesses and attempting to bait your opponent into doing something foolish. Now, this brings me to the curious case of Posta Breve. It is listed as Posta Stabile, and it fits my definition of Stabile Posta, defends against someone attempting to enter into the close game, but the text description of Posta Breve also makes it sound very similar to Instabile Posta. To begin, the Stabile Posta, such as Posta di Longa, Posta di Fenestra Mezana, and Dente di Zenghiaro, all make direct reference to the close game, but Posta Breve does not. Furthermore, the Instabile Posta, which have their point online, Posta Longa, Fenestra, and Bicorno, all state that they are deceptive golds and not positions to wait in. Not only is Posta Breve a point online gold, it states that it is a deceptive gold and is not a position to wait in, which makes it sound a whole hell of a lot more like a Instabile Posta. It also fits my criteria for Instabile Posta, as if you are in Posta Longa and you attempt to void a strike to your sword, it's natural to transition into Posta Breve. So Posta Breve falls into this gray area, but in my opinion it fits the characteristics of an Instabile Posta more than a Stabile Posta. My final point for this video is why I disagree with the most common interpretation for Stabile and Instabile Posta. In short, the interpretation says Instabile as unstable because the hands are away from the core of the body, making it more difficult to contest an incoming strike, and the sword is offered for engagement. To this I say Posta di Bicorno is one of the strongest positions to hold the central line and is held pretty damn close to the chest. Posta di Corona also does not offer the sword for engagement. Dente di Zenghiaro Mezana also has the hands away from the core and does not offer the sword for engagement. The common interpretation for Stabile follows the same logic as Instabile, with Stabile being stable, because the hands are near the core and the blade is not offered for engagement. Again, what the hell are you talking about? Posta Breve has the sword sticking straight out. Pretty easy to engage that. Posta di Longa has the hands damn far away from the core. How can you say Bicorno and Corona are unstable because the hands are away from the core, when Posta di Longa, a Stabile Posta, has the hands farther away from the core? It's like people only look at Posta Longa and Posta Breve, and then base the definitions of Stabile and Instabile off only these two. Again though, this is just my interpretation of what these terms mean and how they fit into Fiore's system. If you think I'm wrong, feel free to let me know why in the comments. Discussing these interpretations is how we improve upon them. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you.